If you are looking to connect multiple shipping containers together, we have this structurally engineered kit that allows you to connect 2, 3, or even 4 containers together, gives you the option of a pitched roof, and it's perfect for the upper level of a 2-story container home. If you're looking for a container home beyond 4 containers wide, you're way better off to just remove the walls of the containers and then span trusses across. You can get yourself a nice open atrium feel inside of there. You can also remove the wood floor from the shipping containers, pour concrete in its place, and have a beautiful uniform slab 40 by 40. Stay tuned, hope you learned something. The first step of any build is the foundation. If you've watched our previous video, we installed some flat bar underneath here because when you remove the whole wall section, it is going to sag. And we took 1/2-inch flat bar and we welded it to the underside because our customer had an existing concrete pad and we wanted to mitigate that sag. We could have put little 1/2-inch flat bar spacers all the way along, but a better way and a better suggestion, and something we've talked about afterwards, is pocketing a slab. So if you are to pour a concrete slab, you can just pocket where the 4 corner castings are, and then the rest of the container is going to sit nice and level. So I appreciate all of your guys' comments down below in our previous video, and I have some questions for you again. Here, we have this HSS box truss behind me in this folded profile. Do we have to use HSS? Can we use things like our scrap corrugation from all of our roll-up door cutouts or from cutting out all the corrugations on past mods? We stacked a few of them together and threw it inside of that profile. That would give us some structural integrity. What about folding 4-foot sections of that header profile and then connecting all of those to a 40-foot long LVL or something? If we can use the LVL as the structural header and just fold this profile as a double wide flashing kit, I think that's a great idea. It's a more shippable idea because if you look at this pallet as it's going to be shipped to people, it is going to get damaged. We have man doors all the time getting damaged. It's like 30% of them get damaged in shipment. It's going to be very expensive when a double wide header kit shows up and someone wants a replacement. I'm going to lose money. I'm not a huge fan of that idea, shipping these things across the planet. I really like the idea of trying to make a flashing kit rather than a structural header kit, and then let you guys deal with the structural integrity depending on your local wind loads and your snow loads. And you should be getting everything analyzed by a PN. Get your foundation plan because every site's different. Absolutely every site's different. If it's stamped here, doesn't mean it works for you and anywhere else, I guess, on the planet. So this here is how it comes shipped to you. This has just been dropped off right on our shop floor here, and you can see it's a bit of a mess. This is something we would need to figure out before we fully commercialize this product, is how can we ship this thing all across North America and not have it get damaged in shipment and not wreck the beautiful powder coating job that's done to these. I think we're gonna spread these out here, do a little inventory on what's what because it's kind of confusing which part goes where, and then we're gonna bolt the whole assembly together to see if everything's gonna line up perfectly. So here we go, we got it all laid out. Seems to, the 4 pieces come together. Now we gotta get some bolts and put them through there to bolt it all up, but we might actually try assembling it on some 2x4s and 2x6s, and then we can really show you how this actually lays out, and it might give us a better view of it this way, because once you have the containers in the way, everything's kind of in the way and you can't really get the full feel for how this header reacts. So we learned we need to work in a certain order. So we'll start on this end, on this side, and all the way down, and then come back to ourselves. Let's get at her. We'll take the first one and just set it up here. They're not too heavy, each individual piece, hey? No. Sits? Sits. Yeah, we're good. So there we have it. Farmering this together on the floor was actually a bit of work, but hopefully we get some cool views out of this to share with you guys. And we got a little bit of feedback on the manufacturing of it and what maybe to suggest for next time. So while we have these on the floor here, let's give you a bit of a demonstration on how this would end up. So this is basically simulating 2 40-foot containers together now. you will already have your walls cut out and dropped. So you'll have full open side 40s coming together. There's about 4 inches of a gap between these structural members. That's an area that you could put insulation, but prior to that, you'll want to pin the 2 headers together. So the lips on the inside, so from inside the double wide looking up, one's a little bit lower than the other, and there's pre-drilled holes. So you can actually fasten through that. That's gonna lock the 2 bottom edges together. And then on top here, we're gonna put our ridge cap, and those have pre-laser cut holes. And once we pin that, it's secured at the bottom, secured at the top, and now these header plates cannot wobble like you see now. So here are the powder coated components. We have our end caps. So this is where, when the 2 containers come together, because there's a 3-inch gap between the corner posts, and then the corner posts are 2 inches thick, that's this distance right here, and that's gonna cap off the ends, and then the ridge cap caps the top. So they're heavy, they're a kind of a structural component. So I'll list some help here to let's flip her over and to show you what this looks like. And so this here now, we have all of the pre-laser cut holes. You can pre-drill. What I would suggest is pre-drilling and using a thread cutting bolt. You can drill right through and just through bolt. I don't like self-tappers because then here exposed, you're gonna have a dagger hanging out the other end. You can also use thread cutting bolt and still put a nut on it for that extra security, just in case for some reason it was to rust around the cut threads that are exposed now to the elements. But maybe some silicone there, even though it's not needed because this is going to shed water right onto the top roof corrugations. And then that water is gonna have to come off to that side, and then the water on this heads off to the other, which is a bit of an inherent flaw with shipping containers when you put the 2 containers together, because typically they're meant to shed the water off each side of a shipping container. They're not meant to only go one direction, but because this sits on top of the weld of the corrugations, and then we have to seal this up super well, so we use a Sikaflex is a really good type of sealant that will really last a long time, but it would be maybe a bit of a maintenance item too. So every 7-10 years, you might want to get up there and just redo that. These high capacity bridge fittings are a key ingredient to this entire double wide kit. German Lashing is the brand. A lot of people are asking where to get them, and they're a patented unit. They come with our 10-foot containers bolted together, and they're very expensive. So something potentially that we could build a less reusable solution for these kits in the future, but they're so great at aligning the 2 containers as they come together. It's really hard to get 2 40-foots side by side perfectly, end to end, and the tops are leaning outwards or the bottoms are popping out. It's difficult. So this solves all that problem. It's a right-hand thread and a left-hand thread, and as you spin this and just put the pry bar torque up on it, it sucks both containers right together tight, and then you just get to work basically putting your interior flashing pieces on, sealing up the floor, and you've got yourself a watertight double wide 40-foot shipping container. So we have our knuckle boom crane on our welding rig there, and so we're gonna use that. We're gonna try something here. We've already bolted the whole header together, so we're gonna see if we can lift it all up in one piece. If it does cause damage, at least now we know, and now you know, and we'll see what happens. Curl it back. Yeah. And then start going that way. Yeah. Down. Yeah. Minty. We kind of bent that one bottom flange, hopefully not too catastrophically. Okay, good. We got her. In one piece. So we designed this thing in 4 pieces so that you could kind of, 2 people could lift it up and do it in sections. And that's probably the wise way to do it, especially given there's the opportunity to do it that way, but it does work. And so a similar method or a similar header like this was one full piece, 40 feet long, 39, 38 feet long, would work. So even once, we'll just put 1 screw in each one of the header pieces, and we just got this temporarily tacked in place. You can just feel it. As soon as that screw sucked right into that top tubing, everything just got stronger. It's like the roof corrugations are even stronger when we're standing on them. It's crazy how much you can feel that this works. Definitely gonna handle the snow load and whatever, the full 40-foot span, that's for sure. So here you can see that we got the one container with this installed on here, and if we were to drop the panels, we'd bring the next one up to it, and we have those custom end caps that cap all this off. A hidden secret weapon of this double wide kit is the profile of the ridge cap. That fold right there, that angle, it means something. Right here, we have ourselves a steel stud. And that angle matches perfectly and gives you a 112 pitch roof. So it ain't much of a pitch, but it's a pitch and it will shed water, it'll shed snow. So here, you can utilize this to give yourself some sort of snow shed with your double wide kit. But what I love about it is you can get longer steel members. So if you got yourself a 20-foot cold rolled steel member or something, you could actually secure it to the outside, secure it to the header kit, and then span another 12 feet. So if this thing could keep going and connect to the next one, you'd get yourself a pitched roof out of the deal. And that's what's great. So if we could actually build ourselves some traditional living space in between two shipping containers, let's use the containers for what they're good for. Containers are great for transferring load down the corner posts to your foundation. So if this header kit transfers the load to the corner post transfers it down to your either screw piles or a slab on grade foundation, thickened edge slab, whatever. If you can get 12, 20, 24 feet in between these containers, have yourself a 40 by 40 building. That is the true intention of this kit. It was a modular solution. So yes, it allows you to make a double wide container home, but here in Saskatchewan, we got a lot of farmers and a lot of people on their acreages looking for solutions to work inside of an area, have a quick delivered shop or a storage for your pontoon boat. A lot of boats are 10, 12 feet wide nowadays. These things are crazy. So this is a great solution for that. And now that we've played around with removing the wood floor and pouring concrete in its place, we have an amazing idea, an amazing design that if you put two containers on screw piles, remove the wood floor, you can spray foam the whole base, do all your hydronic in-floor heating in there, and then pour a 40 by 40 slab with the containers already in place. Do a structural kit like this if you want to remove all the walls. You may not even need this kit. You can exterior stud the entire thing, insulate from the outside. It looks just like an exact farm building, and you got yourself a very durable, extremely durable shop. You got all the advantages of a container. We can strut line that. We can hang all this specialized shelving, everything that we've done all throughout the years, all these custom modified brackets. It's just gonna be an amazing solution. We're really excited. We got one quoting right now. I'm so hopeful that we get that job because it might even be a bit of a green solution where it's net zero, and I'd love to show that to you. So subscribe to the channel, give this video a like if you've got value from it, and as always, check us out at tcg.ca. Hope you learned something.